Just the other month, I went up to Big Bear Lake to visit my family cabin. This was the first time I had been up in a couple of years, but prior to this, I was visiting my cabin every other month. As we approached the end of the windy turn, I approached my favorite part of the whole place. To the left, you could see the beautiful lake, and to the right, the beautiful mountains. But as I turned to the left, to my surprise, the lake was empty and dried out. As shocked and as sad as I was, I knew there was only one reason for this problem: global warming. Global warming is the increase in global temperatures over time. The world is only continuing to get warmer and warmer. According to the U.S. Global Change Research Program, global temperatures in the U.S. have risen over 2 degrees in the past 50 years. Although 2 degrees may not sound like a whole lot, these 2 degrees are making the world of a change. Today, I'm going to caution you about the rising effects associated with global warming. In order to do this, I'll first talk about the problems associated with global warming, then I'll lead to the causes of global warming, and finally, I will end off by talking about the solutions to end global warming. There are 2 main problems associated with global warming: extreme weather events and dangers to the marine life and the sea levels rising. Let's start off by talking about the extreme weather events. According to Los Angeles Times, global warming is leading to more heat waves and fires than ever before. These heat waves are leading to drought. The drought is leading to a decrease in crop production, which is leading to less food. The fires are devastating the homes of thousands, taking away not only property and values, but lives as well. Now let's talk about the dangers in the marine life. According to the Targeted Fed News Service, global warming has led to more than half of the marine life deaths. 50%. Can you grasp that? 50% of these marine life deaths are associated with global warming. The marine life is being really affected by global warming. Once the temperature in the ocean passes a certain point, the coral in the ocean begins to die. As the coral begins to die, the animals feeding off the coral begin to slowly die as well because they have less food to eat. The animals eating off the coral also begin to die because they don't have a source of food either. As you can see, this is a chain effect. Now let's talk about the sea levels rising. During an intergovernmental panel on climate change, it was proven that since 1870, global sea levels have risen over 8 inches. This is flooding areas such as Florida and the Gulf of Mexico. Again, similar to the global temperatures rising 2 degrees, the sea levels rising 8 inches may not seem like a big difference, but in reality it is. Now that we've talked about the problems, let's move on and talk about why these problems are happening. There are 2 main reasons why this is happening: an increase in fossil fuels in the air, such as burning gases, and deforestation. Let's start about talking about the burning of fossil fuels. Global warming occurs when carbon dioxide and other air pollutants and greenhouse gases are collected in the atmosphere. The atmosphere can only absorb a certain amount of these gases in carbon dioxide. These pollutants can last for years to centuries up in the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the planet Earth to only get hotter and hotter. This is due to things such as factories, cars, and any type of gases burning. There has been a major increase in global warming once factories in the Industrial Revolution occurred. Now let's talk about deforestation. Deforestation is when trees are cut down. These trees are cut down, storing a lot of carbon, releasing a lot of carbon dioxide into the air. Also, trees are supposed to absorb CO2 and emit O2. So when they're not taking in the carbon dioxide and emitting the oxygen, it is making a big impact in the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. According to the National Geographic Society, there is more CO2 in the atmosphere today than at any point within the last 800,000 years. That is so sad to think about. The amount of carbon dioxide in the air is only continuing to increase. Now that we've talked about the causes with global warming, let's move on to the solutions. According to Los Angeles Times, the damage will continue to be done, and it might be done before we get a chance to stop it if we don't refuse to act fast. This means that there are no tomorrows left. The longer we wait to help put an end to global warming, the more irreversible the damage is going to become. I'm going to talk about a large-scale solution, then I'll move on to a smaller-scale solution. Hawaii was the first state to plan to rely solely on clean energy by the year 2045. This is a major step that a state made and is hoping that other states follow in its role. California was the second to pass this law. This is a huge step in the right direction. If all these states can plan to rely solely on clean energy by 2045, we will already be making a massive difference. A small-scale solution would be to stop burning as many gases as you can. Try and go the electric route. A bigger example of this would be switching your car from a gas-powered car to an electric car. Each person makes a difference. According to the US Fed News Service, each person is responsible for putting over 10 tons of carbon dioxide in the air annually. 10 tons of carbon dioxide! That is a whole lot of carbon dioxide that can be not only slimmed down, but avoided. Now that we have talked about the issues global warming arises, and the causes, and the solutions, I hope that I cautioned you about the rising effects of global warming. Next time you see a beautiful lake, think about how long that lake will be there if you don't act fast. Do your part to put an end to global warming. Every person makes a big difference. Thank you.